It is time for our Sunrise Smart Start.
Rochester police are searching for suspects in connection to another carjacking in the city. RPD responding to the report of an armed robbery just before 3 p.m. yesterday on Spiegel Park. Police say a 59-year-old man was transporting passengers when those passengers allegedly held that man at knife point and stole his van. The van later hit a parked vehicle near Bay Street and First Street in the city, but the suspects fled the scene. According to RPD, the man was not working for a rideshare company.
Funeral services will be held today for the man who was killed the last week in Gates. 71-year-old Richard Shasha was killed during an attempted carjacking on Buell Road. The funeral is set for this morning at 10 o'clock at St. Pius on Chilai Avenue in Chilai.
Well, today, President Biden is expected to announce his plans to withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan by September 11th. That is the 20th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks.
Hard to believe it has been 20 years. Joined once again this morning by Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson with the latest. Rashad, good morning. What is behind the president's decision to withdraw troops from Afghanistan?
Good morning. Later today, the president will defend his plan to withdraw troops from Afghanistan by September. Now, this is America's longest war, and the White House is saying that the troops have been there for far too long and that now it's time to focus on other global threats.
All right, so originally there was a May 1st deadline here to withdraw those troops. It seems that's unlikely. Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, this May 1st deadline was set by the Trump administration and the Taliban in conjunction with those two. Now, the White House is saying that they feel confident that they can get troops, they can start the troop drawdown starting May 1st, but not all of the troops will be out of the country by that time. Of course, it's going to take some time to do that. Now, they're saying this is being done in consultation with military leaders as well as our allies across the globe.
All right. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer saying that he needs more time before commenting on this decision. Thank you for that report.
Let's turn our attention to the forecast here once again. And James, we're talking about our baby walking forecast on this Wednesday morning, complete with sippy cup as well.
Yes, exactly. This little guy is staying hydrated. Thank you, Danielle, for sending us this photo of your son, making sure that you know, he quenches his thirst as the sun comes out this afternoon. Highs around 60 degrees. Just a beautiful day. If you are along Lake Ontario, you are a bit cooler, but otherwise we will enjoy it because it does not last long. Rain showers return as we get into Thursday, and then yes, some flakes in the Finger Lakes. I did that on purpose. We will see those likely by Friday. We'll take a peek at the weekend in about 5 minutes. Mark, Leah?
We'll let it pass just this once, James.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, our sunrise traffic, a quiet morning so far. Just one accident we're looking at this hour, Lake Avenue in Lexington in the city. Other than that, 490, 390, and 590 looking good so far this morning.
New this morning, Rochester police say 2 men were stabbed on South Goodman Street late last night. Officials say both victims arrived at the hospital with what are described as non-life-threatening stab wounds to the upper body around 11 p.m. No suspects are in custody. If you have any information, call 911.
Well, a new study showing the Moderna vaccine is effective against COVID-19 variants. The results of that study also show continued strong efficacy 6 months following the second dose of the shot, meaning the antibodies fighting against COVID lasted about 6 months. The preliminary data shows its booster vaccine will be able to address emerging variants as well. Currently, Moderna is testing its vaccine on 12 to 17-year-olds.
The CDC and the FDA recommending a pause in the use of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. This comes as health officials work to investigate rare blood clots. CDC officials say there have been 6 reported cases of blood clots out of more than 6.8 million doses administered. All 6 cases, according to officials, occurred in women between the ages of 18 and 48, and their symptoms developed 6 to 13 days after receiving that vaccine. 1 passed away. Johnson & Johnson issuing a statement saying, quote, There is no clear relationship between these rare events and its vaccine.
Of course, that announcement yesterday morning, right around this time, having a major ripple effect. The SUNY system canceling all of its Johnson & Johnson vaccine appointments, as has Wegmans as well. A vaccine mandate for students at all 64 SUNY campuses has now not been implemented. Other local colleges like St. John Fisher and Nazareth College are canceling their vaccine clinics for the time being as well.
Protesting continues for a third night over the police shooting of Daunte Wright. Today, the DA will decide if any criminal charges will be filed against the police officer who shot and killed Wright during a traffic stop. This was Sunday. The medical examiner calling Wright's death a homicide. Police said the shooting was an accident and the officer meant to use her taser instead. The officer, identified as Kim Potter, and the police chief of Brooklyn Center have stepped down.
Also in Minnesota, the defense beginning its presentation in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin yesterday. A use of force expert called by the defense said George Floyd was not complying with police when he was restrained last May.
What part of this is not compliant?
So I see his arm position in the picture that's posted.
Right.
That, you know, a compliant person would have both their hands in the small of their back and just be resting comfortably, versus like he's still moving around.
Did you say resting comfortably?
Well, the defense also says that heart disease and illicit drugs killed Floyd, not the use of force. Testimony in that case will continue today. All right, let's shift gears now and have a look at our Family First segment on this Wednesday. We are talking about getting kids back on track toward a healthy lifestyle after a challenging year.
Yeah, not always easy to do. According to a recent study in the journal Pediatrics, there has been an uptick in childhood obesity during this pandemic. Experts say now is a good time to make changes.
During the pandemic, our whole lives have been turned upside down.
Registered dietitian Donna Quincy says some kids are spending 12 to 15 hours or more on their screens, leading to weight gain and even depression.
To get outside. And then when the school day is done, really to put the end to the screen time. Kids are just, they do it all day, and then they take their phones into their room. They have TVs in their bedroom. These are all really bad habits.
How do we get back on track?
Well, I think, now that beautiful weather is now upon us, and we really need to make, taking the break from the screen time a priority.
Quincy recommends scheduling a set time for everyone in the house to shut off their screens.
So parents really need to be role models and to do the same and get outside and stop using the screen.
We've all heard how important it is to sit down and have a meal together as a family, but that's not always easy to do.
Exactly. So, when parents tell me that, I always say, if your baseline is that you never sit as a family, maybe try doing, one meal a week. Studies have shown that children eat better, they make better choices when people are eating at the table.
Another thing that's been thrown off during this pandemic, sleep schedules.
Because the school day has been as flexible, they're staying up late into the night. They're not as tired because they're not doing all that physical activity.
She says fatigue can contribute to weight gain.
When sleep is disrupted, that also can impact our appetite and make us want to eat more and crave some of those sweet, junky types of foods.
Well, she also stresses the importance of eating 5 servings of fruit and vegetables every day to help keep the immune system strong. And when it comes to beverages for kids, she says stay away from those sugary drinks and opt for water or low-fat milk. You can find more at rochesterfirst.com.
It is time now for a check of the GRE Morning Business Report. GameStop is searching for a new CEO. Reuters says the retailer, which saw its stock price soar when it became the target of small investors gathering on Reddit, is looking for a new chief executive to guide the transition from a brick-and-mortar company into e-commerce.
New help for another struggling airline, Air Canada. The Canadian government has agreed to pump well over $4.5 billion into the airline. The agreement protecting thousands of jobs and allowing the airline to buy dozens of new jets. While air travel is beginning to pick up, around the world, many airlines still, of course, trying to recover from that financial hit that they took during the pandemic. Air travel was one of the hardest hit industries.
Well, Microsoft has agreed to buy the speech recognition company Nuance. The deal is worth nearly $20 billion, including debt. Nuance has become a leader in voice recognition services for the healthcare industry. It sells software that helps transcribe speech, including powering the speech recognition engine behind Apple's voice assistant, Siri.
Airbnb calling it the summer of responsible travel. It wants to discourage reservations that may pose a heightened risk for big parties, limiting reservations on entire homes for 1- and 2-night stays. Guests without a history of positive reviews on Airbnb won't be allowed to make those reservations.
Well, let's get a look at what folks might be talking about this morning at the water cooler, sticking with our theme of dream jobs this week. One for fans of true crime shows. Consuming the horror mysteries and murders could become your job, at least temporarily. Magellan TV wants to pay people up to $2,400 each to binge their true crime documentaries for 24 straight hours. That is $100 an hour to do what you're already doing for free, right? Applications are open on the company's website through May 5th.
I don't know what your mood would be like after watching all those, right?
24 straight hours. You got to really lock in.
Right, yeah. You might have to hook the eyes open to watch some of those.
Hey, might need the sunglasses for those eyes on this Wednesday, James.
Yeah, for sure. And don't be fooled by the fog this morning. It should lift as we get into the afternoon. So that's really the only threat for you on roads. A little bit of fog, especially north along Lake Ontario. But otherwise, a beautiful day. Let's enjoy today because today is hit. We kind of turned downhill as we get into this afternoon. So a beautiful Wednesday for you. Temperatures in the lower to mid 40s. Look at Penn Yan already jumping up quick. 44 degrees there. Buffalo 43. Danville at 40 degrees. A look at the weekend. Not too bad. We've got mid 50s both Saturday and Sunday. An isolated shower or two on Sunday. So we are enjoying today. Just working and watching horror movies for a 24-hour straight the next couple days.
Sounds like you have a plan there. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update coming up in about 30 minutes. CBS This Morning begins next. Be safe and have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.